Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be moving on to paint. But the first thing we have to do is come over here and mask off the bottom side all the way around, or technically the top side. So we're going to mask off this lip, then we're going to flip them over and paint the back side with that POR 1.5 stuff. So I've got this side masked off. I just got to mask this one off, then I'll flip them back over, wipe them down, and start applying some paint. So let's get started. So my goal is just to get all this wiped down. And if any of y'all wondering, this doesn't have to be perfect, because later on I will be coming back and taping this bottom side to get this top side painted with that flat red that I had mentioned. So that doesn't have to be perfect, but right now I just need to go through and get stuff like this and stuff like all this rust, this surface rust, and get where I repaired that I didn't grind down. I'm just gonna coat over top of it, and where I welded up where the emblem was. So I just got to get it all wiped down and maybe hit it with a wire wheel. I'm not sure. I'll figure that out as long as I go, but I'm gonna get all this coated with that POR 15. Try to get everything coated good so we won't be back in the same boat in a couple years. So like there's where I repaired that. You can see a little bit where I repaired right there. Just need to get stuff like that coated, so we'll get to work on getting it wiped down and maybe hitting it with a wire. I just wanted to show you where we're at after cleaning the panels and such. This is where it's at. It doesn't look too bad. I just gotta wait for it to dry a little bit before I can start painting. Just for overview, we're painting all this. Then we're gonna come back and paint that top side and that lip there and all this on that underneath side. So that means this lip all the way around, all these creases and crevices, we're going to try to get as much in there as we can. And we're using this with a small paintbrush. So that's where we're at. I'll catch up with y'all later when it's dry and we'll get started on painting. So this is what I have so far. I did a coat of the POR 15 and I went back over it with some satin black and a spray can. Doesn't look terrible. So that's what we got so far. And I still gotta do this one, so hopefully I'll do better on recording and y'all be able to see the process. So on to the next fender. So I got a second coat on part of it. I ran out, but this is what it's looking like so far. From this area and forward has been dual coated. And I tried to get all the way across the front dual coated as well, but I didn't make it. But I tried to focus on that for the dual coat, because that's the two places it was the worst. But after that, I moved up here and did this. But you can see the difference from one coat. So this is two coats. Then here's one coat. So there's a major difference. I just didn't have enough of it. I'll just do exactly what I did on the other side, and I'll go over it with the satin black. So, but yeah, that's one coat, and that's two. It really makes a difference, that second coat. So, but the next I'll be putting the satin black on it, just like this one, just to protect it, because this is not UV resistant. So, I mean, I know it's going to be mostly hidden underneath the hood, but just in case, that's why I'm putting the satin black on there. But I'll let this dry, and I'll come back when it's ready for the satin black. So I had a little bit change of plan. I'm going through now, and I'm going to go ahead and paint the back sides of everything before I move on to the front side. And I might just paint the whole front end while it's on the truck. So I'm moving on to the hood, and I just found a rat's nest. It was down in there. You can see it right there. But we're going to do pretty much the same thing we did on this side, so I'm not going to show it again. I'm just going to come back when I have some more to show you. So I started sanding this side. You can see how far I got. I got all that done. But I didn't even show y'all earlier. I got the gravel pan off the front of the truck, and I got some degreaser on it right now. Just trying to clean it up a bit. I'm going to go down and just basically do the same thing I did on this side. But I still got all this to clean off, then get down to get the shiny knocked off of it. I was trying to use a brush on the end of my drill to try to speed up the process, but I think it's just taking the freaking paint off, and that's not exactly what I want to do, but I had to right here because there was a rust right there and right here in this crevice. So I'll update you on a little bit. On the orbital sander, I'm using 320, and I'll be going back in the small creases and crevices with 400 by hand. So that's where I'm at right now. After sanding down the hood, inside of the hood and the inside of the gravel pan, I moved on to self-etching primer. So I got the self-etch primer on, and I wasn't originally going to do the whole panel, but by the time I noticed how much wasn't primed with it, it was just made more sense just to continue with it, because I mean there was just a few spots that didn't have it on it. So I went ahead and did the gravel pan, as you already seen. But I'm just going through and checking to see if I missed some spots, which I'm finding here and there. But all in all, it doesn't look too bad. And we'll get the black on it soon. So just got the second last coat on. I think that's what I'm going to call it for this video. I don't want to make it too long. Next video will be painting the front end, I guess you'd call it. But that's what it's looking like after the second coat. I mean, it ain't looking terrible. I mean, it ain't the greatest either, so don't look too closely. As I always tell people, anything I paint's at least a 30-footer. It'll look good from 30 feet away. So but yep, there it is.